Hello there, I'm back, you'll be thrilled to hear, with another nail-biting installment of Uncle Nick's Junkyard Funland, the cutting-edge new reality TV show where unsuspecting contestants are forcibly used as slave labor to construct one sapient entity's perverted vision of the ultimate amusement park, before being eliminated one by one in gruesome workplace accidents. Today you'll get to enjoy watching me perform a further 9 hours of extremely fiddly custom support work. 9 hours. I dumped 9 hours of my valuable time into this, so you better be bloody happy with it. There are a few things I wanted to say about the support structures I built in this episode. The first thing I make is the support structure for the final Helix element, which I think is my best piece of junkyard engineering so far. The coaster track is supported by a series of angle cantilever beams which by themselves may be strong enough to carry the weight of the track itself, but not the additional load imposed by the coaster train. The top of each beam is connected to a pre-tension chain which attaches to an anchor point on a tower at the center of the Helix. When the track section is not loaded by the coaster train, the tension in the chains applies a loading on the cantilevers towards the middle of the Helix. When the train passes over, the preloaded tension in the chains subtracts from the outward load placed on the track by the motion of the train, bringing the net loading on the cantilevers to an approximately safe level. That's the idea. Anyway, obviously in-game they're purely for aesthetic purposes, but I'm a stickler for technical plausibility, if not necessarily realism. The chain-supported design obscures much less of the track from view than an equivalent more conventional support structure would have, and allows room for a path to pass underneath the zero-G roll support. The area between the Helix, zero-G roll and vertical loop will ultimately house the main observation platform for the ride, which will be accessed via the gap made available by the Helix support structure. I took special care to make sure that all of the chains are properly aligned with the chain attachment loops on both ends, and to make sure that there is approximately sufficient clearance between the train and the support structure, avoiding any literal head choppers. Generally, clearance tolerances are designed so as to make it impossible for riders to lose an arm or leg from collision with the supports. Boring. It's the nanny state gone mad if you ask me. No, at Junkyard Funland, we respect our park's guests' right to self-determination. The clearance tolerances on the rides here are designed so that guests can choose whether or not they would like to become dismembered. It's possible to avoid losing an arm or leg if you keep your wits about you, but it's all up to your choice. Come on down to Uncle Nick's Junkyard Funland to empower your sense of free will today. So in conclusion, think carefully about whether you're going to keep your hands and feet inside the car at all times. You'll notice I get into some driftwood plank detailing on part of the bottom of the Helix support structure, with the snowman pipe piece used for bolts. I intend to come back to this a bit more later, as it's the sort of little detail that adds a lot of charm, albeit at the cost of part count. By the end of the video, the number of parts included in the coaster is a bit under 3,000. So a modified placeable version of this coaster should eventually make its way to the Steam workshop. After the Helix, I do some more work on the arch supporting the zero-G roll. I switched to a darker shade of brown for the additional metal work. I think that having a mix of different colors and support styles is an important part of making it feel like a junkyard contraption. With too much copper brown, I felt it was too close to verging on steampunk, which is not what I'm aiming for in this build. I continue the color variety in the rest of the support structures. By the end of the video, it includes shades of red, green, yellow and blue. Some of the coloring is tweaked off screen, so try not to be too alarmed about sudden changes of color, unless the changes in color are occurring somewhere other than the screen, which may be an appropriate cause for alarm. The rest of the support structures are nothing too revolutionary. They're mostly triangular space frames made from iron pipe pieces, with a few extra structural members added at random. I think the extra members add a lot of character to the otherwise bland utilitarian structures, which really helps to sell the illusion of being hacked together in a junkyard. And that's about all there is to say about the supports. Seeing as this episode is the second one in a row to go double feature length, I'm going to fill up some of the dead air with a special limited edition bonus feature. As an extremely minor YouTube celebrity, I receive exactly 0 letters from fans asking questions about me. So today I thought I'd take some time out of my busy schedule to answer some of the questions I haven't received. Let's begin. Question: what is the naughtiest thing you've ever done? I once shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Also your mother. Question: can you confirm or deny the rumors that your secret identity is President of the United States, Donald J. Trump? Well, let me answer that with a question to you. Have you ever seen me and the president in the same room at the same time? I think you have your answer. Kafif. Question: you like Huey Lewis and the News? Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste, but when Sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound, and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost. He's been compared to Elvis Costello, but I think Huey has a far more bitter, cynical sense of humor. Hey, Hal Barstrom? Yes, Alan? Why are there copies of the style section all over the place? Do you have a dog? A little chow or something? No, Alan. Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is. In '87, Huey released this, for their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square, a song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, it's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul, Bateman murders Alan with an axe. Try getting a reservation at Dorsia now, you stupid bastard. That wasn't so much a question as it was a scene from the film American Psycho, but thanks for not asking anyway. Question: is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Nick and Nor, and that concludes this week's Q&A. Thank you to none of you who sent questions in. Stay tuned for the end of the episode for a series of cinematic shots of the products of this episode's labors. That's an order, not a request. It's definitely not optional. If you like what I'm doing here, consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the notification bell. Until next time.